Here at Scott Legal, we know the complex issues presented by immigration law. We are here to help. We have new immigration videos every week. If you are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and bell. You can also sign up for one of our webinars, or get a free immigration guide, by clicking the link below. People often ask whether border officials can legally search their cell phones, laptops, computers, and other electronic devices they might be traveling with. Stick around to find out. Recently, in February 2021, the First Circuit Court of Appeals took up the question. They approved the policies that U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, and U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement or ICE officers follow. In this video, we look at the case, Al-Assad vs. Mayorkas, and what it means for the government's policy and practice of searching electronic devices of those entering the United States.
What is the background and significance of Al-Assad vs. Mayorkas?
On February 9, 2021, in the case of Al-Assad vs. Mayorkas, the First Circuit Court of Appeals considered whether it was a violation of the U.S. Constitution for government officers working for CBP or ICE to search the cell phones and other mobile devices of U.S. citizens and lawful permanent residents at the border. As the court noted, this was the first time that a court of appeals considered the constitutionality of border search procedures in the civil context, as opposed to the criminal context. The court set out to address the question of whether or not CBP and ICE officers violate the constitutional rights of U.S. citizens and lawful permanent residents when they search electronic devices without a search warrant or probable cause.
What is probable cause?
Probable cause generally requires facts showing a reasonable belief that a person has likely committed a criminal violation. In order to conduct a search without a warrant, the search must fall within one of several exceptions. One of these exceptions is the border search exception.
How does the government policy define electronic device?
The policy defines electronic devices broadly to include not only laptops and cell phones, but also any device that may contain information in an electronic or digital form.
How does the government policy define what a search is, and how it can be conducted?
The policy describes two types of searches: basic and advanced searches. An advanced search is any search in which an officer connects external equipment, through a wired or wireless connection, to an electronic device, to review, copy, and/or analyze its contents. An advanced search requires approval of a supervisor and, importantly, reasonable suspicion of activity in violation of the laws enforced or administered by CBP, or in which there is a national security concern. A basic search, in contrast, is simply any search that is not advanced. Officers can perform a basic search with or without suspicion.
Does the government policy impose any limits to what information can be accessed on an electronic device?
Yes. The government policy states that electronic devices must be disconnected from the internet before a search is performed. Also, officers can only search information stored on the phone itself. This applies to both basic and advanced searches. Also, the policy makes clear that, to perform an advanced search, reasonable suspicion and supervisor approval is required.
Does the government policy allow officers to keep my device?
Yes. Government officers are permitted to detain electronic devices for a brief, reasonable period of time, to perform a thorough border search.
What did the court hold in Al-Assad vs. Mayorkas?
The court held that the government's policy does not violate the Constitution. Border officers can continue to perform advanced searches without a warrant or probable cause, and can perform basic searches without reasonable suspicion that there may be a violation of law or national security concern.
In light of this court decision, what are the best practices when traveling through a U.S. border or an international airport?
There are a number of ways a person might prepare when traveling through a U.S. border. First, though it may be impractical, the surest way to protect one's information when traveling is to avoid traveling with electronic devices that contain such information. Consider traveling with a temporary phone, for example, or a laptop that primarily accesses information on the cloud and stores little information locally. If this is not possible, ensure that electronic devices are protected with a password. Passwords can also be applied to individual programs or sensitive files. Encryption can also be used on sensitive files or the entire device. Finally, sign out of sensitive applications and disconnect from the internet before arriving at the border. We are here to help. You can contact us by calling 212-223-2964 or by sending us an email. We look forward to hearing from you. You can also schedule a consultation by clicking on the link below, where you can choose a day and time that is most convenient for you.